Assalamualaikum and good morning, Sunny Ahmad Ahmadjari. It is an honor to be here with you today. So we from Group 1, we will present on suicide cases in Malaysia, analysis on risk and prevention. So firstly, allow me to introduce myself. My name is MAIZATU Muhammad ANUAR and my partner is Antasya binti Azahar. Our talk today focuses on a growing serious public health issue in Malaysia, which is suicide. Suicide rates in the country have become a major concern affecting individuals from all walks of life. On average, there are over 1,000 suicide cases reported annually in Malaysia. The government has taken steps to address the suicide prevention, but this issue remains a critical challenge. The first one is the background why we choose suicide is as the topic of our talk today is because, just like I mentioned just now, suicide is an alarming public health issue in Malaysia with rising cases driven by various factors such as mental health struggles, financial pressure, and societal stigma. This growing concern has sparked worries among families mourning loved ones, educators witnessing its impact on youth, healthcare professionals facing a limited mental health resources, and policymakers grappling with its social and economic consequences. The need for collective action to address its root causes, reduce stigma, and provide adequate support is more urgent than ever. On a personal level, we choose this topic because I have several friends who suffer from depression, some of whom who attempt suicide by self-harming, such as cutting their wrist, and this includes myself. I have cut my wrist and even made several attempts to take my own life due to severe depression that I have been struggling with since losing my father a few years ago. So because of this, I encourage my partner Antasya to select this topic, and we agree to work together to raise awareness among the public and give them to open their eyes and recognize the importance of understanding suicide. It could very well be that someone close to them might also be struggling with the same issue. So basically, suicide is the act of intentionally ending one's life. It is a complex issue often influenced by multiple factors, just like I mentioned just now, including mental health challenges like depression, anxiety or trauma, social or economic stressor, relationship problems, or feelings of hopelessness and isolation. The purpose of our discussion today is to provide a detailed understanding of the trend and progression of suicide rates in Malaysia over the years. We aim to shed light on how these rates have evolved, identify significant patterns, and discuss the contributing factors. By doing so, we hope to create a clearer picture of this critical issue and emphasize the need for targeted interventions. Without further ado, Antasya will first discuss the progression of suicide rates in Malaysia, particularly from 2000 until 2019. Please proceed, Antasya.
Assalamualaikum, I am Antasya binti Azahar. I will continue with chart 1. The data I choose is from the World Health Organization Malaysia suicide rates in 2000 to 2019. Rising trend in suicide rates in recent years with a peak in 2019. From 2000 to 2013, the values show minor fluctuations, indicating relatively stable pattern. However, starting from 2013, there is a consistent upward trend with a sharp increase from 2015 onwards. By 2019, the value reached its peak at 5.7, indicating a significant rise in the variable being measured. The sharp increase 2019 could be attributed to the early psychological, social, and economic effect of COVID-19 as the pandemic began spreading globally toward the end of that year. Fear of the virus, uncertainty about the future, job losses, and social isolation could have contributed to a rise in suicide rates, mental health issues, or other challenges. Even though Malaysia implemented stricter measures in 2020, the initial uncertainties of the pandemic likely began affecting people's mental health well-being in late 2019. This trend continues into 2020 and beyond, when the pandemic effect were even more pronounced. So, in 2020, suicide was increased than 2019. So, this the data loss of employment in 2018, 2019, and 2020. As we can see, there are lots of people lost employment in 2020, then 2019 and 2018. This making them more stressed and want to kill themselves. 2020 shows a dramatic increase in the LOE compared to 2018 and 2019. So there are news that I found in Google. The picture clearly shows us that suicide will increase year by year, and COVID-19 also the main reason why suicide increase in Malaysia.
Next, we will discuss on factors that appear to precipitate suicide among Malaysians. This graph is taken from preliminary report July until December 2007, written by National Suicide Registry Malaysia. So from the graph, we can see that intimate partner problems are often the most critical risk factor linked to suicide, where individuals experiencing relationship issues such as separation or abuse have tragically taken their own life. Recent cases in Malaysia highlight the significant role intimate partner problems play as a risk factor in suicide. For example, in 2024, Malaysia has seen an increase in suicide tied to intimate partner violence or IPV. A rising number of calls related to suicidal behavior were received by the Mental Health Crisis Helpline, with over 4,800,000 calls made from 2022 until June 2024. This call often reflect relationship issue, abuse, and emotional distress linked to IPV. In addition, the challenges of IPV were spotlighted during the pandemic, with reports showing an uptick in domestic violence cases. These include a significant surge in online searches for support related to physical abuse, with many individuals suffering in silence during the lockdown. As mentioned by my partner Antasya, students are one of the groups most commonly affected by intimate partner issue. This is why intimate partner problems have become the leading factor contributing to suicide, even continuing to be a significant issue until this day. On the other hand, factors like the death of a loved one, hallucination, personal problem, and being under shock, which is Social Security Organization, have shown to occur less frequently in suicide reports, suggesting they are not as commonly associated with suicide cases. While these factors can certainly contribute to emotional distress, they appear to be less prevalent in the suicide rates compared to issues related to intimate partner problems. Next, according to the same report, the most common suicide methods in Malaysia in 2007 were hanging, strangulation, and suffocation. This trend has persisted to the present day, with hanging remaining the most frequent method used by the victims. The likely reason for this is that hanging is seen as one of the easiest and the quickest to end one's life. This method is often accessible and requires a little preparation, which may explain why it continues to be the method of choice for those experiencing extreme distress. Here is an example from my search on Google, which show that in 2010, hanging was still the most commonly used method by suicide victims, with many of them taking their own life in their own homes. There is also a notice titled Fakta dan Info Bunuh Diri, which state that 56.6% of suicide cases were caused by hanging. This findings further confirm that hanging remains the most frequently chosen method of suicide. Next, what is suicidal behavior? According to the World Health Organization (WHO) in 2018, suicidal behavior can be broken down into 4 stages known as IPAA. First, idea refers to when someone begins to have thoughts about ending their life. It is the starting point of suicidal ideation. Sometimes, when someone is struggling with a problem and they confide into someone they trust, the person they turn to may not respond as expected. And I also have experienced this myself. I often notice that many people will react with comments like, "Nah, you are just overreacting. Everyone has problems. You are not the only one that has problems. Try not to let your emotions control you. Don't be so sensitive. Don't be so spoiled," and other else. So these type of responses are often the reason behind the development of suicidal thoughts, as the person feel like no one understands them and listen to their struggles. Next, in the plan stage, the individual starts to formulate a specific method or plan to carry out the suicide, indicating more serious intent. Often, victims who have made the decision to commit suicide will plan it several weeks or days before the event. This is why close friends or maybe family members may be shocked and wonder why the person took their life, especially if the individual appears to be doing well beforehand. This happens because the person may have quietly planned the action, or there are some cases that may have the victim may have given signals but no one noticed or pay attention to those warning signs. Attempt follows where the person actively tries to take their life whether or not they intend to suicide. And finally, action is when the individual carries out the suicide attempt following throughout their plan. So next, I will pass to Antasya to proceed.
Next, conclusion. To conclude, the suicide rates in Malaysia rose sharply from 2015 to 2019 and clearly showed that 2019 sharply increased because of COVID-19. Research highlights that intimate partner and financial struggles are two primary contributing factors to this increase. Moreover, suicide is often deeply rooted in mental illness and exacerbated by social isolation. These challenges call for urgent and proactive measures, raising mental health awareness, expanding counseling services, and ensuring access to crisis hotlines are vital steps in addressing this issue. It is critical for governments, schools, and workplaces to prioritize mental health by fostering supportive and stigma-free environments. These include implementing policies that encourage open dialogue, compassion, and empathy to help those in need. In summary, preventing suicide requires a united approach from all sectors of society, focusing not only on intervention but also on building resilience and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health. Thank you.